What's good, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new Amazon video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about what I hate about working at Amazon. Before we do get started, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Nathan Padilla. With that being said, let's just get straight into the video though. Not much to say. Sorry for missing an upload last Friday, but I'm going to be back to regularly scheduled uploads this week. So yeah, let's just get straight into number one. Again, this is another list of 5 things that I hate about working at Amazon. Some of the things that you've probably never heard me say, not necessarily never heard me say before, but I've made a few videos on what I don't like about working at Amazon. These are definitely different from all those lists. I'm going into more detail on these, and we'll go ahead and get started straight off with number 1 on things that I hate about working on Amazon, and that is that everything is done by the system. I really don't like that everything is done by the system. It would be cool if the system worked. And what I mean by the system is that everything is done by computers and technology. When it comes to like things like TOT and things like your rate, everything is done by the system, and I do not like that. And there's a few reasons why I don't like that. Just one of the reasons being the system is very inaccurate and flawed. Like, I do remember, I've said this multiple times on the channel. If you are new to the channel, this might be your first time hearing this, but there was a time when I had TOT and the system gave me like 180 minutes of TOT and I got written up for it. But the thing is that I never had any TOT that day. Like, at most I might have had 10 minutes because I used the restroom like one time maybe. But for whatever reason, while I was working, like while I was actively stowing, the system had me down as not stowing at all. So the system is flawed. It doesn't work all the time. And issues like that were a big problem for me. And then another thing I don't like about everything being done by the system is rate. Like, sometimes the system will try and calculate your rate, but it doesn't really know what's going on. Like, sometimes you might be getting nothing but huge items by your water spider, and you're just getting nothing but big items over and over and over. And so your tack time is going to be really, really slow, but the system still expects you to hit a certain rate. And when you don't hit that rate, your manager is notified, and then your manager might come up and talk to you and be like, hey, you weren't hitting rate here and here, or maybe you were super low on work, but you couldn't pull an out of work and-on because you had more work to pull that, or more work than the minimum to pull out of work and-on. And you might have to tell your manager, like, I'm sorry, it wasn't my fault, I just didn't have enough work. And your manager might just say, well, the system says that you did, or whatever. And it's just a bunch of bullcrap, honestly. Everything being done by the system it's really, really inaccurate and super flawed in my opinion. And that brings me to number 2 on the things I don't like about working at Amazon, is that's just that the job gets stale. I've said this one before, but you're doing the same thing day in and day out, especially if you're not cross-trained and you're just going and specifically doing one position all day long for like a year straight. It gets very stale. You're doing the same thing. You might get refreshed by some new items that you see, but at the same time, realistically, you're just doing the same thing over and over. Like, if you're just picking items all day long, and it can get very mentally taxing, and it's a big reason on why people don't like the job. They get tired of it, and it's completely understandable. And number 3 on things that I hate about working at Amazon, that's the unbalanced hiring for positions. And what I mean by this is that sometimes, I don't know, this might not be everybody's site, this might just be my site and a couple of other sites that I know, but I know my site specifically, what we do typically is we just hire a crap ton of stowers, and there's times where we have nothing but stowers and we have way too many of them, and then they're sending us to pick and pack, even though there's not enough to be sent to pick and pack, and pick and pack just needs to hire. And for whatever reason, what they'll do is they'll just hire even more stowers and then try and maybe send someone to pick or pack, or they'll just be struggling for people in pick and pack. It's been a problem at my site for a while now. We don't hire properly for each position. In my opinion, we should hire enough people for each position so that if there is maybe like 30 people who don't show up that day because they just don't want to show up, there's still enough people to do the work. But it doesn't really work like that at my site. We usually have way too little people in one department, way too many people in the other department, and it's just a big mess. You have way too many people getting cross-trained, and there's just too much going on, and I honestly cannot stand it. So I wish that they would hire properly, and I've said this before, but again, I just want them to balance out where they hire people. And then number 4, inconsistency between managers. This is like one of my least favorite things about working at Amazon. Each manager, during your tenure at Amazon, if you're here for at least a year, there's a good chance that you're going to go through at least one or at least 2 or 3 managers. You're going to have more than just one manager. Managers are constantly quitting. Managers are getting moved to different departments. If you get written up, they'll change your manager sometimes. It all just depends. But overall, they usually change your manager quite frequently. And if you're here for a year, you'll probably experience multiple managers, and those multiple managers will be looking at different things, and they'll want you to hit different expectations. they won't care about some things, they will care about other things. Like some might care about TOT, some might not care about TOT, some will care about break compliance, like coming back a minute late from work, some won't care, some will constantly push you to hit your rate, some don't give a crap. And honestly, like, yeah, you could say just go by the rules and just do what's expected, but it's hard to tell what's expected when each manager does things differently. And some managers trip out about things that I've never heard other managers trip out about, and vice versa. And it's just a big mess. I wish there was a consistency between managers where every manager is told for their employees to hit this specific thing, and that all managers will just care about it. And it won't be like, if I get a new manager, what are they going to care about now? Should I start working differently? Should I start maybe taking my breaks more like shorter? Because I've had managers where I've had to take a super short break, like a 25-minute break, just so I don't get written up for break compliance. And I've told the stories before, but yeah, I definitely wish there was more consistency between managers for sure. And then number 5 on things that I despise about Amazon. I'm saying despise for this one because I really can't stand it. It's the breaks. There's 2 things about the breaks: them being way too short, and then there not being enough break rooms. Specifically that second one, because lately at my facility, and I know that this has been happening at a bunch of other facilities as well because I have seen it in my Discord, they're taking down all of the middle break rooms. The middle break rooms, which are the ones that are like by the, I don't know if every site has these, but I know a lot do, but they'll just have chairs by the stations. They'll have tables and chairs maybe by some of the restrooms. They have new designated break areas. Since COVID hit, they started having new designated break areas, and they're taking all of those down. At my site, I believe now they've officially taken all of them down. So we went to maybe having like 10 break rooms maybe to now only having 3, one of those being really small and the other 2 being extremely far from the stow stations. If you're a stower and you're trying to go on break, it's very difficult at my facility, and it just really sucks. They've torn down so many of the break rooms, it's crazy. And I know that they've been doing this at a lot of other sites too, because I've been seeing it on Discord and Reddit. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why what they're doing is they're going back to pre-COVID policies. That's how it was before. Before COVID, they had way less break rooms. Like maybe your site only has 2 or 3. Mine only has 3. We have one on the first floor, one on the third floor, and actually 2 on the first floor, but one of the first floors is really tiny, and it's by dock, so all of the dock employees take that one anyway. So if you're not dock, it's not really a viable option for you. But overall, it really sucks. There's not enough break rooms, and when they're super far from the stowers, like if you were stowing on like second floor and you wanted to go to the first floor break room, that's like a good 6-minute walk, 8-minute walk, maybe even 10 minutes, really depending on how far you are or where your station is. And it just sucks because our breaks are too short, the break rooms are too far, and it's a really crappy position overall. But with that being said, that was the final thing on my list of what I hate about working at Amazon. Let me know what you hate about working at Amazon down in the comments below. There's a lot more things that I don't like about working at Amazon, but I've said them in multiple other videos. I try not to repeat myself too much in these videos. I try not to like say something that I've said in another list multiple times. Maybe I'll do it once or twice, but I try not to do it more than that. But this list right here, I think I've said some brand new things. Let me know what you think about what I said down in the comments below. Is your site also having break room problems? And what do you hate about working at Amazon? With that being said, I'm going to end that there, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe down below, and follow me on Instagram again at Nathan Padilla, and the link will always be in the description down below. If you want to check out my other channel too, if you didn't know, I have another channel where I make a bunch of videos like vlogs, like challenges, all types of IRL content. If you want more of that, if you want more content from me, go ahead and check out that channel, subscribe. The name is Nathan Padilla, but again, it's in the link in the description below. And yeah, let's try to hit 300 on that channel soon. I'll catch you guys on the next one. I love you all. Peace.